5 Outdoors is sponsored by Arkansas Game and Fish Commission.
All right, we're talking with our friend Trey Reed again from the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. Trey, you're fresh off a nice vacation, a good fishing trip. I'm happy you came back. It looked like you were having so much fun. You might just leave us high and dry, but I'm happy to see you back in the saddle now. Hey, let's talk about deer season. It's kind of a weird time. We're in the middle of summer, but it's important. We got some upcoming dates we need to know about, huh?
Yeah, it is time to apply for wildlife management area deer hunting permits. You have through the end of June, actually through July 1st at 11:59 p.m. So the application period opened June 1. So you basically got a month, we're less than 2 weeks left to get those applications in. For those who aren't familiar with the process, for many years, the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission has managed deer hunting on our wildlife management areas through these limited access or permit hunts. In the past, a situation would develop where, look, clearly some areas are better than others. Some areas are known for producing bigger bucks than others and that sort of thing. And so what would happen is a lot of hunters would show up, all the hunters would show up at 2 or 3 places. And so, put a lot of pressure on the deer, and it also didn't make for the greatest hunting experience. So this format allows us to sort of spread some of that pressure out, spread those hunters out, and so that everybody has an enjoyable experience out there in the woods. And, Scott, one thing that's really cool we've been doing the last few years, first I should say, agfc.com, right there on the homepage, you'll see a link. Click here to apply for a WMA deer permit. And also on that page, there is a spreadsheet with basically your odds of drawing a permit. Now, that's based on last year's application. So say we had 50 permits available for a certain area and 125 people applied last year. It gives you a pretty good indication that your odds are a little longer for drawing for that area. Conversely, there may be an area with 50 permits where only 35 people applied last year, so there were leftover permits. You pretty much in those got nearly 100% chance of drawing for that area. So be mindful of that. Check that out. Maybe select one of those areas with better odds for your second choice in case you don't get your first choice. There is a $5 application fee. It's non-refundable. Even if you don't get drawn, you don't get that money back. It is a processing fee that we have to use to kind of pay for the process of running the permit draw system through the website and all of that. But it's a bargain. We do a lot of different permit draws. This is probably the most robust one. I mean, literally hundreds and hundreds of permits that we'll draw for in early July.
And so early July, so you may not know immediately, but early July, you'll get a notification. If it's anything like what I'm used to on the waterfowl side, it's an email, right?
It is, Scott, and it's pretty quick these days because it is all computer generated, right, randomized, and so we essentially have the list with everybody's email. I don't know the exact date, but I do know that we will be selling the leftover permits, the ones that aren't drawn and awarded to people. It's in the second week of July, so it's first, maybe early part of the second week of July. You should get your notification whether you drew or not.
Okay, excellent. Let's talk about a different type of permit that the deadline is long gone for at this point. However, maybe there's still a little opportunity for some folks that maybe want to do some elk hunting this year.
Yeah, another member of the cervid family, a much larger member of the cervid family, the largest member we have in Arkansas, the Rocky Mountain elk. A lot of folks know we have a restored population over around the Buffalo River country, and we have a very limited hunt and have since, I believe, 1998 was the first year of the hunt. I think 15 or 16 permits available this year. As you noted, Scott, we did online applications at agfc.com during the month of May. We will draw those winners during the festival, which is Friday and Saturday in Jasper, the Newton County Square, right there. The stage is, if you're looking at the courthouse, right to the left, a little bit down the block, you will see, I believe it's the Jasper Newton County Chamber of Commerce building. And there you will find Arkansas Game and Fish Commission employees, and that sign right there where you can sign up for one more chance to win one of those elk permits, because we're going to be giving away 3 that we set aside that you have to register for at the festival I think between noon Friday and 4 p.m. Saturday. And you've got to be present to win those. So at 5 o'clock Saturday evening, I will take the stage. We will tumble the squirrel cage, and we will bring the Miss Buffalo River Elk Festival pageant winners onto the stage to reach in there and blindly draw a card out. And I will read those out. You must be present to win. Scott, there's about 800 or 900 people there awaiting my words. I make 3 of them very happy and about 787 or 97 of them unhappy.
So, tell me a little bit more about that atmosphere around the festival. It's a fun time.
Well, and that's great, Scott. Whether you're coming to win an elk tag or not, I mean, it's just a fun, right, small town Arkansas festival. I mean, we have them all over the state. It is actually the biggest tax collection day for Newton County of the year. Okay. There are that many people that show up for this, but lots of arts and craft vendors, activities for the kids, food and beverage trucks. And so just a good time. Hop over to the Ozark Cafe, famous restaurant there right across from the courthouse. There's some other great places too. Don't skip on those either, but lots of good times. Little Buffalo River running through town. There's a kids fishing derby Saturday morning associated with the festival. So you'll have plenty of fun whether you're coming for an elk tag or not. But I have to say, Scott, that 5 o'clock, I've been emceeing this thing for 19 years. Okay. And it's happened in the blink of an eye. It's hard to believe that, as a young employee of Game and Fish, and I kind of filled in for somebody who couldn't be there. And then I got stuck with the job all these years, but it is one of my favorite weekends of the year. I love it when people come up and say hi, and we see you on 5 Outdoors or whatever, because that happens a lot. And but that 5 o'clock drawing for those 3 on-site permits, when I'm standing on that stage and looking out at that sea of people crammed in the streets of Jasper, it's pretty electric atmosphere, man. It's a very gratifying time for sure.
Yeah, no question about it. It's one of those events that people circle on their calendars every year because it's a rite of passage. It's something that everyone has to do at some point. And if you go once, they'll keep going back years to come. Talk to me about the probabilities there. I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you remember how many people typically put in day of?
Yeah. I can give you ballpark, Scott. Typically the online that we accept during the month of May at agfc.com, I think last year that was somewhere around 7,500 or so applicants. At the festival last year, I think may have been a record year. We signed up around 800, maybe a little over 800 folks on site. So much smaller pool of applicants for the on-site draw. Yeah. Now, again, fewer tags, only 3 out of those, but still, you're competing against 800 people and not 8,000.
Yeah. Well, may the odds be ever in your favor, because those are not good odds. I bet you feel like $1 million if you're one of the 3 names drawn.
Oh my gosh, you should. People get so excited. You have those stoic guys, that don't want to show that emotion. But then you also have those folks that'll just it's like they've been called down to the Price is Right, raising their hands and screaming. That's and everything. Awesome. So it's pretty cool. It is a fun weekend for me for sure.
That's fantastic. Hey, I don't want to let you go before talking about Anne-Marie Doremus, someone that a lot of viewers probably are familiar with, but if you're not, there's reason to know about her and her time coming to an end there at the agency, huh?
It is, Scott. Anne-Marie's 7-year term on the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission technically ends June 30th, but her last commission meeting was Thursday. She passed the gavel to Rob Finley, the vice chair this year, who will assume the role as chair in his 7th year on the commission. But yeah, and I've said this before, I hate to lead with this, but it is a historical fact. Anne-Marie is the first woman appointed to a full 7-year term on the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. Pat Peacock from Stuttgart, former world duck calling champion, served an abbreviated term filling in for someone who had to step down. So yeah, I mean, it is historical. And big deal. So I don't want to, because Anne-Marie is much more than a female commissioner. She is an ardent conservationist, but it is a historical fact, and I don't want to skip that because I think it's important to note. But beyond that, man, she has served on the commission in a really progressive time. I mean, we have embarked, as you well know, we've talked about it a lot, Scott, a ambitious plan to renovate our green tree reservoirs on our wildlife management areas, change the paradigm of water management on those areas. And that's all in an effort to preserve that legacy of flooded timber duck hunting that Arkansas is famous for, that we can pass on now to future generations. And, you know, those woods were getting in bad shape from, decisions we ourselves as a commission made, not knowing. We were ignorant to, what persistent water on those trees would do. But the science is caught up now, and those were not easy decisions to make, because there's a lot of sacrifice. Exactly. I mean, you're asking hunters to, we're not going to have water till a little bit later. We're not going to put the water as deep as it was. And, in some years when it's dry, we're going to leave it dry, and so not popular. But, I think through the leadership of people like Anne Marie and Luke Naylor, our chief of wildlife, I mean, I think the tide's turning on that. But I mean, that's what I wanted to point to about Anne Marie's leadership and her time on the commission. That is one of the kind of keystone things that we've done. Also, our lake renovations. That's another one. Lake Conway, also not a very popular thing when you tell people you're going to drain their backyard lake for 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years.
But it will result in an incredible fishery. And so, I mean, it takes that kind of leadership to say, we're going to bite the bullet and we're going to do this. And so, beyond that, Scott, she's just a remarkable human being. She's kind and generous, always acts with poise and grace. I've seen her invite students from the University of Arkansas and other universities across Arkansas, wildlife biology students, hosted them for their first duck hunt through the University Hunt program, or supporting the youth anglers at the Commissioner's Cup Bass Tournament, or maybe even showing up on my radio show on a couple hours' notice a couple of times. So, yeah, she is. She's great. She's going to be missed, and she's very young. So I still count on her to do some great things in the realm of conservation in the future.
Yeah, no question about that. Every encounter I've had with her, which has only been a few, but she leaves an impression on you, and I think you're right. Maybe her capacity might be changing, but her impact is probably going to be felt for a long time, which is good. It's really good news for Arkansans that love everything that makes Arkansas what it is.
Absolutely, for sure.
Awesome, Trey. We appreciate your time. Thank you for coming back from vacation. I wasn't sure what I was going to do without you here. That'll do it for this edition of 5 Outdoors. We'll have Trey back here real soon, right here on 5 News Plus.